Hey guys, Level Cap here, and welcome to Devlog number 49 for Sea-Beams, a spaceship action RPG that I'm making with a small group of friends. This game is currently wishlistable on Steam if you want to check out more. We also have a Discord for following the development process even closer. Today I'm excited because we've made a ton of progress progressing towards our vertical slice demo. We've got a ton of new spaceships in the game. I've gone back and updated a whole bunch of old assets with a new material workflow like station interiors, and it's kind of exciting. We made some big improvements to camera optimization, and we have a new camera zoom level. We have some new cargo assets, which makes it just far more visually interesting to find cargo in space and pick it up. We have a level map, which is essentially just the expanded version of your mini map in the game. And we also have some mission updates to get our tutorial missions fully integrated and set up so that we can transition the player into the larger gameplay loop. I'm very excited to show you guys what the team's been working on, so let's get into it, starting off with my favorite subject, of course, spaceships. I've been itching to get back to the Atlas fleet. These are kind of the good guys in our game, and they need more ships to fill out their fleet. This here is the Heimdall class railgun frigate. The entire body of this ship is one massive spinal mounted railgun, and the rest of its weapons are there to essentially support that platform. It can be its own scout ship on its own, or it can partake in fleet battles and assist the massive capital ships. The concept was designed by Kruger and then further refined by our modeler Evan Browning, and we made a few changes to some of the base designs with this ship, and I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. It feels like a frigate. We kind of scaled down the bridge a bit to feel like a classic naval ship, and it also just feels more size appropriate with the bridge there. Sadly, I don't have the railgun working for this one yet. We will get it up and running soon, but I think it complements the look of the larger Atlas fleet nicely. Frigates will be faster ships, but this one here is not going to necessarily sacrifice a ton of firepower, though it might end up being a bit more of a glass cannon once we get more into the balance phase. The military ships in this game should be pilotable by the player. Once they accomplish the appropriate tasks in game, then you will be able to get access to military vessels, which will be better in combat, but perhaps carry less cargo and be less efficient at some of the other things that, say, a trading vessel or a mining vessel might do. Now this here is our brand new size 6 battleship for the Atlas fleet. I've nicknamed it the Tempest. It's got engines all over the place. It's even got angled engines in the back to help with reverse thrust. It's got an above and below bridge setup, which I think is kind of cool. I like the classic naval look of having these big towering bridges on the ships, which is very World War II style, but since it's a spaceship, there's no reason why the bridge couldn't go below the ship as well, and I really like that concept. Kruger did this concept. It was based off of a very early island sketch, and we kind of fleshed it out a bit further to make it fit the Atlas fleet. Once again, Evan Browning did the modeling work, and here you can actually see the ship with the rail guns that it should have on it, but we don't have those in the game quite yet. So it's going to get 4 massive sized rail guns for taking out ships at a distance. That said, it's still no slouch in close range and has plenty of recoilless turrets and size 1 CIWS turrets to take out close range threats. This thing is just going to be a beast at pretty much any engagement range, and it'll be fun to try and figure out how to balance some of these massive ships, but man, they are just cool to see compared to some of the smaller ones. Next up, we have a size 4 multi-role ship. This would be for somebody who wants to be a bit of everything. You can do some trading, you can do some hauling, you can do some fighting, you could probably even mine in this ship. The multi-role ships have a bit more truss work and support braces around them. They're not just these armored up vessels meant purely for combat. They have to look like they do a bunch of different things. I like the look of this one. It's fun. It was fun trying to come up with a color scheme and decals that sort of match this style, and it should be a really fun ship to upgrade to from some of the smaller ships in the game, because this is, you know, essentially a destroyer sized vessel. Once again, the concept for this ship was done by Kruger and the modeling work done by Evan Browning. Now, last but not least, we have a size 2 multi-role ship. This is based on an early island concept that I feel like he just kind of whipped up and sent over my way, and I always really liked it. We updated it a little bit more toward a multi-role functionality ship, which in our universe means it probably needs at least one size 2 turret to take on bigger vessels. So we slapped one right on the top and expanded the bridge design a little bit to fit that turret a little bit better. Size 2 ships get me excited because I think those are going to be some of the fun ships where you're early game making your choice on what to upgrade to. And I could easily see this ship, which I have nicknamed the Caracal, being a good choice for somebody who wants to do a bit of everything, but maybe a bit more fighting than they were expecting. Now, I did have this idea that wouldn't it be cool if we could capture a fleet battle between the big Atlas fleet and the big bad guy fleet, but our AI are not quite up to the task yet. I thought it would be funny to sort of show my attempt at getting this set up, but the AI, well, they just don't have enough logic quite yet to handle larger fleet circumstances. They can hold up in a 1v1, and beyond that, they go a little crazy. Nonetheless, that is one of our big goals in this game, is to have full-on fleet battles that you can either be a member of or even just a sideline observer. Now, aside from modeling out a billion spaceships for us, Evan Browning has also taken it upon himself to redesign our cargo containers for the game. And these are all his own designs. He sort of based some of it, I guess, loosely on some of my early modeling work, but just vastly improved upon the concepts. And now we have some really cool cargo containers that we can change the colors of, we can add decals to, and basically make containers that feel like they fit whatever type of cargo they should be holding. Now, asset-wise, I've been working on getting these station interiors sort of more optimized and fully set up with the help of John Lagostini, who made a special geometry node addition for Blender. We've been able to vertex bake in all of the masking areas for all of the geometry in this station, giving us much more accurate light rendering. Anything that's an emissive surface is emitting out of a mask that is based on vertices and not based on an actual image, which gives us much more accurate windows and light fixtures and stuff like that. They don't fade out or fuzz out quite so much as they would if we were using texture masking. Beyond that, I did all the collision mapping for the walls in the station, and at some point I will probably delete a lot of the collision on the floors depending on what their cost is. For static collision, I have to profile that first before deciding on the plan forward. Now, Mr. Meteor, who's been working on the game for quite a while and built many of the game's core systems, has refined our camera system and given us a new inspect camera that gets very close to ships. This is going to be great for just appreciating the detail of your ship. And now when you zoom out, you have 3 different ship zoom levels, and then you also have a zone map, which is something that Rich has been working on and just got into the game. And then zooming out even further, and we have our system map. Now, one of the many projects that Rich has been working on is getting our tutorial systems up and running and finishing out the rest of the tutorial missions. These missions are designed to both be a narrative introductory to the game, but also just getting players used to the flight mechanics, how to pick up cargo, how to use your different ship systems, and we're kind of cramming a lot into them, so they do take quite a while to design, even though they're relatively simple in terms of what you're actually doing as a player. And right now we're on the 3rd tutorial mission, where we need to locate the Te Mirandi. This is a cargo ship that was scheduled to deliver some GravGen fuel for this nav beacon, and it has not arrived on schedule, and they're concerned that perhaps pirates got it or something happened to it. So we are sent on a mission to locate this ship, and I'm able to use my zone map a little bit for early navigation. And this is, again, a very early look at these new zone maps. In fact, I had Rich basically make some changes to it seconds before recording this footage just so I could get a few extra tweaks in there. But we have a waypoint that's going to take us to a general search area where they think that is the last known position of the Te Mirandi. We're still working on some of the base logic for this mission, and I'm going to add in a bunch more proximity mines, which we're actually redesigning to try and be like a few things that you have to avoid, not to make the mission totally benign. But once you find the Tamarandi, you'll dock with it, pick up the remaining GravGen fuel, download its ship computer information, and head back to the nav beacon for more information and your next mission. Now, there's about 50 different things we have to get working and updated for these tutorial missions. They more or less require just about all the mechanics that we need for the entire rest of the game for them to function. So in a way, that's cool. Once we finish the tutorials, we'll have all the tools we need to build a huge amount of the rest of the game, but it also means that we have to build a lot of systems just to get these functioning. So as you can see, we've been very busy with a lot of systems in the game. Some of our last core systems that we've yet to do a first pass on just come down to the skill tree progression systems and some of the ship inventory and component setup systems. So we've at least done a first pass on almost everything there, which is kind of what we need to do to get to a vertical slice. And then next year is really going to be a lot of refining those systems and building them out further to accomplish what we need for the rest of the game, and also, well, building the game itself. But it's been a fantastic year pushing towards this vertical slice, and I'm excited to do a year 2 roundup. I really enjoyed doing the year 1 in review and talking about all the things I learned, and year 2 I think is going to be even more exciting. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Once again, if you want to check out C-Beams further, check out our link to wishlist the game on Steam and the link to the Discord so you can chat with other people and get more frequent updates about what we're working on. There's also some devlogs linked here if you want to go back and check out some of the past stuff where we explain more of the concepts behind the game. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.